What the? I can't deal with an uneven stool. Wow, I didn't expect that. I was flipping through some movie thing, and I came across Anchorman, and Anchorman. I like every movie if it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't care. So I know it's just that scene where they all go to like battle in that parking lot.
Oh,
with
yeah.
all the different anchors from the different TV networks.
Yeah.
That was funny enough, but afterwards they're back at the office. The main crew is Steve Carell and Will Ferrell and all those guys, Paul Rudd, and they're all saying, "Wow, that really escalated fast." It's like I didn't expect that. Yeah, well, you had a. Yeah, I threw a Triton. You killed the guy. Yeah, I had a Triton, and it was really funny. I don't know. Anyway, appreciate it. Well, thank you guys. This is an auspicious day because, well, not only are we at the Brooklyn Film Festival, Brian, what festival is this? What number? For the this is 21? Oh, wow. So it can drink now. The Brooklyn Film Festival can legally drink.
And clearly it's set up for that.
And we're at a bar. It used to be called the Brooklyn International Film Festival until about 5 years ago, I think. And
I
then
didn't know
they changed
that.
Yeah.
Thank you for
I
telling
had
me
a
that.
film here, actually.
You did? Julie,
I
let's just
did.
introduce you. Julie Bridgham.
Very good.
Bridgham, right, who is the documentary programmer here.
That's
at the
correct.
Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that film?
It was The Sorry Soldiers. So it was here in 2009, I believe.
Oh, maybe I was here for that.
And it won the Spirit Award.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So I had-
Congratulations.
You won a Spirit Award?
There's three different award categories for the documentary category. There's the Jury Prize, the Audience Award, and the Spirit Award. The Spirit Award is given to a film that kind of
Here.
best embodies.
But at the festival, as
At the
opposed to the
festival.
Spirit Awards.
Right.
Which
No,
is a separate-
exactly.
okay.
Right.
Ours is a
right.
bigger
So this
deal.
is-
I'm going to agree for the sake of respect and community here. Oh, so you're back in a way. This must be nice to be now wearing this hat.
It is. It's great. I love being able to support filmmakers in this capacity. It's great. As both a filmmaker now being on the other side as a programmer
Right.
too.
It's a great thing to do is to give a programmer the job, a filmmaker rather, the job of a programmer, and that's not uncommon in this day and age, where people can't, need to wear a lot of hats to make a living. What more compassionate programmer could be than somebody's already submitted their films to festivals, And we're also joined today by Jason Stefaniak, who is the narrative feature.
Yep. Feature
or
narrative.
narrative.
Program.
Is it shorts too, or is there a separate?
Just the
person?
features. There's a separate program.
Hold a
for the
little
shorts.
closer up.
Yeah.
And we're joined by Noah Brown, who's waving into an audio podcast. I'm teasing. Hey, this is great because Noah's starting as an intern here at Filmwax. So it's exciting to have Noah here, too. Say hi.
Hi.
Well done. Anyhow, so we're here in Greenpoint at the Windmill Studios at the Brooklyn Film Festival, day 3, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Right.
so now I know my friend Michael Galinsky is here today, coming any minute, because he just did the podcast for his third or fourth time with David Balinson, who's the director and the producer, respectively, for Working in Protest, right? So that's your fault.
That's Julie's fault.
No, that's your fault.
That's my fault.
I'm confusing myself, giving
I'll
myself
take
a
those.
short attention. No, I'm glad you did, because Michael and David and Rumor Films has a long history with the Brooklyn Film Festival.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Yeah,
right.
we're very honored to have them here.
And there's only 7 feature documentaries.
8.
Oh, there are 8.
There is 8.
Excuse me.
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you want to talk about a couple of them? Or
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Well, since you just mentioned Working in Protest,
Yeah.
I can first talk about that. I mean, it's a fascinating film. It documents really this the history of protest in this country over almost a 30-year period,
Yeah.
and it's such timeliness to have a record of this, and I feel like it just resonates all the more. And in many ways, it's very inspirational, because I think in this climate, it's very easy to be frustrated by politically what's happening, and oftentimes question what is it that we can do. And it's really interesting to be able to see kind of a historic perspective of the impact of protesting throughout the several decades in our country. So.
Right. It's also an interesting film because the filmmakers really also are right there at like a Trump rally, right? Was it, or I think it was. I don't think it was the convention, or they may have been at both. I saw this a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But I know that and they're getting a real sense of then Trump supporters. I don't know if they're all still supporting Trump. Hopefully not. But that they're getting their perspective or coming out of the convention or the
Right.
rally, whatever it was. which,
Absolutely, right.
is also like, it feels like real time almost.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another film, too, I'll give a shout out to is Afghan Cycles, directed by Sarah Menzies, and it's the East Coast premiere. It's a film that she made over a 5-year period in Afghanistan, and it follows several women who are part of the first Afghan women's cycling team.
Wow.
And it's a great film. I think it's so important to be able to see women from Afghanistan, in particular, in a very different kind of role, I think, than most people have been exposed to. And it's, I think in many ways a very inspiring story, seeing what these women have achieved. So I'm really excited about being able to bring that to New York audiences as well.
And what it's called?
Afghan Cycles.
Okay. Stop interrupting, Jason.
Okay.
And sorry, I promise we'll get right to you, too. I just wanted to finish up with saying also I happen to have seen My Name Is Pedro, which is another documentary in the festival. And my own son, who's going into high school this next fall, I know from my own experience and his, seeing a great teacher is still an inspiring story. And, this is a great example of that.
Absolutely.
Of a real, see how powerful a teacher can be and what an effect he can have.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important, again, with documentaries, being able to have a mix, too, of things that can be very inspiring. And I think there's something about that story in particular that kind of resonates and gives us hope about the impact that individuals and teachers really can have.
Yeah. I'm not going to give away the ending. I was going to do it as a joke, and then I'm like, but you can't make a joke. That joke. Normally, if I could, but you can't. You can't. It's a very powerful ending. People need to watch the film and come into the Brooklyn Film Festival. And since there's only a few others, just mention the titles and so we don't leave anybody out.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you can do that with the narrative side.
I'm getting a little nervous trying to remember all of them.
No. You're not going to have to remember them.
Well, let's see if I can do it from the top of my head.
You don't have to.
I think I can. So the other,
it's a small number. So, I would be surprised if you could, but I don't want to put you on the spot either.
Sure. Yeah. So other films that are playing is They Call Us Warriors, also known as Nos Llaman Guerreras. It's a great film from Venezuela, documentary also following women who were athletes. Interesting theme, but it's about the women's soccer team in Venezuela that wound up becoming World Cup champions. Another film, Fail State, fantastic film looking at kind of the underbelly of education, higher education in the U.S. The New Man, which is a U.S. premiere. You mentioned My Name Is Pedro. The other films are Street Fighting Men, which will be playing Tuesday and Saturday. And I'm thinking now of the Spanish title for the other film from Argentina, Silence is a Falling Body, which is playing on Monday and Wednesday.
Wow, you got them. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, you can at least get 8 of the features without a cheat sheet.
That's right.
But then you'll be fine.
Well, I have fun stats about the features I could start with. We have 13 features, 13 narrative features.
Okay.
7 of them were made by filmmakers that were either born in New York or currently live in New York. But what's cool is that I think 2 of those 7 take place in New York. So even though you have a lot of these Brooklyn-based filmmakers or Brooklyn-born and raised filmmakers, they went out in the world and made films all over the place that they've now brought to the festival, and they're here in New York to be able to come for the Q&A. So that's really cool. 5 of our 13 filmmakers are female filmmakers, which is great. Thinking about some specific films to talk about, there's a film called Nosotros, and it's an ensemble look at a group of young people in Spain on Election Day in 2015.
Otros is others? No.
Us.
What is us? Us. Well, no. Okay, that makes sense. There's. Now I see. It's one word.
Yes.
There's the poster right. I could have.
Right there.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's pretty good.
That one's a lot of fun. That one's playing Friday night for us at 9:00.
Yeah.
We have 2 world premieres. One is called Life is Fair, and it's a story about the Eritrean immigrant experience in the United States, in San Francisco. People from Eritrea who immigrated from Eritrea.
Okay.
And it's this weird, fun mix of like early Spike Lee and early Woody Allen and magical realism. It's 60 minutes long, and it's so charming. Yeah. And she'll be at the festival. The filmmaker, name is Sephora. She'll be at the festival, and that's a world premiere. And we have a film called Golnesa about Afghani immigrants working at a brick-making factory in Iran. It's a pretty stunning location where they filmed, and what this husband has to do to keep the job when it comes to making his wife stay in the home all day and doesn't allow her to actually work, and what it does to her and what it does to their relationship. To think of a lighter film, we have one called Room for Rent.
That I saw.
You did see that one?
Yeah.
Canadian comedy. That one's fun. We screened that one last night.
With Brett
Gelman?
Brett Gelman,
Yes.
right? From Lemon, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's all over the place, but that may have been...
Yeah, a number of actors from SNL and from Kids in the Hall and a bunch of Judd Apatow movies.
I don't know any of I don't know what that is.
I don't know what any of the names are. So, yeah, we got a good variety of stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then one other I got a chance to see.
Yeah.
I think I reached out to the filmmaker, but I had not had a chance to, or hadn't heard back yet, but was Room for Rent?
Yes.
Is that the one I just mentioned?
That's the one. We talked
One bedroom, then.
One bedroom, yeah.
That's the one.
We have like a theme
They're
going
both
on
kind
about
of... I'm confusing
spaces
the...
and rooms this
I'm
year.
conflating the two because they have similar titles, and they're both real estate comedies in a sense.
Yep.
One is a house. The Room for Rent is where they kick out their adult son out of the house.
Yeah.
Or that's the intention. It doesn't quite work out. He gets moved into the laundry room, I think.
Yeah.
But he, so they rent out his room to, it's a trope, the nutty,
That's right.
Strange
Guy
who comes in and
who has like
turns out to be Brett
nefarious
Gelman.
intentions. Yes.
Yeah. It's enough said. And then the other one is about one bedroom.
One bedroom.
Takes place in Bed-Stuy, or is it, where is it?
It takes place in Brooklyn. I'm not sure.
Clinton Hill or Bed-Stuy?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I
I'm
don't
guessing.
remember which neighborhood.
Yeah, maybe they don't even say the block. I think it's...
Yeah.
But, about a guy who also lives in his mother's brownstone, his own apartment, we should add, but it's not quite the same.
Yes. He lives in a one bedroom with his girlfriend, and they're breaking up.
Right, yeah.
And so the film takes place over the course of her
That
moving
day.
out.
Right, yeah.
And it's intercut with him reflecting on the experience when
Yeah.
he's getting his hair cut at the local barbershop.
Yeah. And the filmmaker is also the main actor.
Yes.
Who the lead is. Who's that?
Darian, yes. Who's also recognizable from a lot of acting work,
Yeah,
that none
I've
of which
seen
I can
him around.
remember at the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
But he wrote and directed and stars in the film, and he was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Right.
And he'll be here for the screenings.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe get him on some other time. Once he
Great.
hears this, he'll regret not being on. So, we say male and it's interesting. I was thinking when you said before, so many female, and I know, it's been an ongoing concern, and it's been on the programmers' radars, is making more space for, obviously, female filmmakers. But not to say, and it's getting better. A lot better in some cases. But I was just wondering, at what point are we going to have to even stop calling people by, it's like the way culture is changing so quickly, and gender identity is changing so quickly, we may have to stop. I recently had on two within a very short space, actually three transgender filmmakers. Which is a sign that we're in a very, obviously in a very, we're changing, in terms of gender in general. So it's funny, at some point we'll have to just sort of stop making those gender references like that.
Exactly. I mean, it's great. This, speaking of the stats this year, 6 of the 8 documentaries are either directed or co-directed by women directors too.
Wow,
and,
that's significant.
It's fantastic. And I feel like, getting back to what you were saying, I think things are starting to shift to the point where we will no longer have to kind of make note of this, that it's, which is fantastic.
Right, yeah.
What it always felt like to me that the solution for this is more people being able to make films. And what was great about programming the narrative section was I wasn't looking to fill so many slots with African-American filmmakers or so many slots with female filmmakers. When I looked at the pile of films that were programmable, and there were too many to fit into the slot that we had, it just worked out that of the films that I programmed, 5 of them were made by women, which is great, which to me feels like the way it should be, that there's enough people accessing the ability to make films that when you get to the end in our programming, that there's a good representation of people.
The Brooklyn Film Festival is running right through
June 10th.
June 10th, thank you. Here in, they've got 2 venues. They have Windmill Studios, which is on Montrose. Is that where we're on?
Kingsland.
Is this Kingsland?
This is Kingsland.
Kingsland in Greenpoint, and the other space is
Wythe Hotel.
The Wythe Hotel, of course, on Wythe Street.
On Wythe.
Turns out.
Makes it easy.
Now I understand why they called it the Wythe Hotel. I didn't.
And there are a few other venues, actually. Those are the two primary.
Ones,
but also Union
satellite.
Docks has one
Right.
event. Also Syndicated, too, which is in Bushwick, sorry. Alamo Draft House, too, I think is presenting shorts one night.
Oh, okay.
And the Made in New York Media Center has a couple.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
They have a screening room in there as well, which is in Dumbo. Great. Yeah, that's great. So it's a bit spread out. As a matter of fact, when the Brooklyn Film Festival, for the first bunch of years, because, believe it or not, back in the earlier part of the decade and earlier, people had film. They shot on film.
Right.
So the indie screen, which no longer exists because Vice took over bought this building, but in that space they could only show on digital formats. In that, so they actually showed films at Brooklyn Heights Cinema, which also no longer exists, sadly.
That's where I think my film was shown, actually, back in the day, back in 2009.
Oh, when you were at the Brooklyn Film Festival with your film.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
It was down in Brooklyn Heights.
Did you have it on film?
No.
I wonder. Okay, because I don't know that they could show it in any other format until.
Yeah, it was at one of the theaters in Brooklyn Heights.
The last owner, who used to be come on the show occasionally, figured out how to retrofit other options, but they never really had the opportunity to renovate properly because the building ended up kicking them out.
Right.
But yeah, the Brooklyn Heights Cinema would show anybody who had film, so they would break it up between those two venues.
Right. Yeah, it was a great space, great venue. But it's lovely being in this part of Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I also just want to give a shout out to one of the things that we've really been working on this year for the Brooklyn Film Festival is really being able to incorporate the local Brooklyn filmmaking community. And it's something for us, I think, that really is part of the whole spirit of this festival is the fact that Brooklyn is such a hub for independent filmmakers and really being able to provide a space where filmmakers that are presenting their films here can really have a chance to mix and meet with local filmmakers and local filmmaking collectives. So pretty much every day, every evening, we've got different mixers and events with local filmmakers and filmmakers from the festival, which I think is great. And it's also open to the public too, for people that are interested in kind of meeting and mixing with filmmakers.
So I'm going to send people to the website. What's the website, Jason?
BrooklynFilmFestival.org.
So, okay, everybody, thank you very much. Julie Bridgham and Jason Stefaniak. Come meet, everybody listen, come out and meet these guys and go see some great films at all these different venues and have a great time supporting indie films, supporting Brooklyn films, and the arts, right?
Yes,
great.
Thank you
Excellent.
for having us.
Yeah,
it's
thank
a
you.
pleasure. Next year, right? We'll do it again.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
All right.